So today I'm gonna present about the topic investigation of BCP weak barrier ratio of elusive appetite and TCP ratio under the artificial saliva condition. So the presentation we have the five section, but I'm gonna present the introductions. So in the human body, most calcium phosphate that is it in the compound named elusive appetite and in a crystal form. They are the product of the reaction between the calcium and phosphate, and this combined with the organic protein type 1 and water to form the hard tissue such as bone and dentin. The formation and the construction of these hard tissue are similar in some ways, but the proportion of these organic may differ. The most common injuries are bone fractures, especially in the oral environment. On the bottom right of this slide, you can see the dentin, and the dentin hypersensitivity is the typical case in the older of ages, and it can caused by the erosion of the appetite layer that covering the dentin, and this can be explained by the dentin tubule structure. Along the dentin tubule is the cytoplasm tail of the odontoblast that connect to the bone, which the sensing function, and this will cause pain. And there are many materials used to repair this injury. Among them, there are two distinct compounds, that's elusive appetite and the 3CB. They are both bioactivity, biocompatibility, and the high degree of restality. For that reason, it has the osteoconductive property, which means that they can elicit bone repair. Uh, Together, however, because the elusive appetite is a significant component of heart tissues, is really stable in the body environment and difficult to be absorbed, and it can be used to fill the defects. In contrast, TCP is easily absorbed by the human body and can release the two ions of heart tissue, calcium and phosphate, to help the tissue repair. These two compounds combine to create the compound named PCB, which have the total property of each phase. Because each compound of each component changing its phase will change the material properties, so the potential of PCB is unlimited. So this is the commonly modification units are shown in this diagram. As mentioned, depending on the percentage of each phase will change the degradation rate, and the composition of elusive appetite, and the TCB is a main factor that can be affected by the temperature, reaction time, and this helps the material degrade in the human body, releasing two ions, calcium and phosphorus ion, to help recovery from the host. And this can also affect the scan morphology such as shape, surface roughness, and grain size. Uh, all of these help the cell adhere to the material to facilitate the healing process, and this creates the dynamic interaction of BCP with the biological environment. And um, the following animation will depict the main interaction of the restorative materials. Firstly, after implanting a material into the human body, uh, the solution of the surface will release the two ion calcium and phosphate, that and uh, these the deposition will begin to connect combine with the sodium and magnesium to form the precipitation known as the uh, biological appetite layer, and this appetite layer have a similar composition with the heart tissue. So the chemical bonding is then formed between the bone-like appetite and the surface material to have the healing process faster. However, there is still need to investigate on the viral ratio of BCP effect in the oral environment. So, and in dentistry, artificial saliva is a good candidate for the individual study. However, this course is not focused on the elusive appetite forming activity, but mainly on the reaction of BCP. Therefore, this pre-thesis is to investigate the behavior of BCP with viral ratio of elusive appetite and chicken phosphate under the artificial saliva condition.